Shut up and sit down.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to learn how to spool up a bait caster. A lot of people, when they're spooling line onto a reel, they use their feet. They have somebody else hold the spool for them. You know, I've got some 20-pound spider wire here, braid, and that's what I like to use. I like to use braid on my bait casters and my spinning reels. I like to use either a fluoro or a mono leader. About 7 feet long leader. Well, it depends on the length of the rod. I think this rod's a 610 medium fast action, but I like to spool up with braid and then use a leader that won't come onto the reel. As I was saying, you know, people use their feet. They hook this thing on a pencil. You know, it's got the little hole in the back, and they try to spool up with it. This is what I like to use. It's a PISCIFUN easy line spooler. So this is what comes in the box, and I've used this before. It's got a suction cup that it won't stick to this table. It's got this thing. It's got that and this. This is a tensioner knob. Sorry, all my neighbors are out, all the neighbors' dogs are out. You guys are gonna just have to listen to the noise that I've listened to all day. So this thing here goes on the rod itself. And it's got this little knob here. Hopefully y'all can see that. That goes up and it tightens it down to the rod. I like to get it as far away from the reel as possible, close to the first eyelet. Alright, so you connect this to the rod, make it to where it's fairly tight, and you can either put it so hopefully you can see that. You can either put it to where this is turned over and cupping the rod, or you can put this piece up against the rod. There's an indentation on there to make it to where it will stay tight on the rod. You slide that in there, and there's this little silver knob back here, and then you turn that and it locks this in place. This tensioner goes on the front right here, in between the claws. Just like that. As you can see, as I turn that, it draws those claws in tighter. So when you do braid, or when you do line, you want it to come over top of the spool and onto the reel. So I always put a hole in the paper right there, put it on there, and then I just start cranking that tensioner down. I like as much tension on my spool as possible. That way I'm actually reeling kind of hard, and it keeps the line tight going onto the reel. Alright, whenever I spool up, I like to take the spool out. I run it through the line guide in the front and out the side of the reel where the spool goes. And then this Lews reel has holes in it, so I tie off to those holes. Some people just wrap it. I don't ever want to take a chance of losing a fish that way, so I'm going to put it through there and tie it just like a Palomar knot. Well, I am going to tie a Palomar knot around the spool. Alright, I got my Palomar knot tied on. That's the strongest knot that I know of. I'm going to cut off the tag end. Alright, after I've got the Palomar knot tied, feed the spool back in here, put the cover back on, lock it down, and I got this contraption here. I just start to wind it on on the reel because it's centered with the rod and with the line guide, and it goes on the reel nice and even. Hopefully y'all can see that, how even it's going on there. I don't ever get in a hurry doing it. I just kind of let it go. And I spool it up to where it's about 1/16 of an inch from the top of the reel. Some guys will do 1/8. I've seen guys spool it all the way up to the edge of the reel. But I don't like to spool it up to the edge because it tends to backlash more when there's that much line on it. I just cut the line. I'll tape the tag end back up on the spool. Take this whole contraption off, set it to the side. Run the line through the line guides. That's it, y'all. Easy peasy. This thing costs about 30 bucks online. I got tired of using the pencil and ink pen and everything else. Cool thing about this is this little knob right here. You pull that back and it free spins. And when you're doing a spinning reel, then it will actually pull it off and spin it at the same time. That way you don't get line twists in your line. You know, line twists are what cause wind knots in a spinning reel, and it'll make them backlash like crazy. With this, you don't have to worry about that. 30 bucks, 5 minutes, I spool up my reel, and I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed that review. Go out and get you one of these. I'll put a link to this down in the description of my video. Y'all check it out. But y'all take it easy. Go out, get it wet, keep it bent. Y'all get the hell out of my backyard. Later.